about Nelson Mandela, how he turned the other cheek. Well, how about the fact that maybe possibly that if he didn't come out and turn the other cheek, he wasn't going to get to that position anyway, because the white man would have said, well, you're not getting any power and you'll still be treated like this. So unless you come out and give us a fair crack at the whip, we're not going to give you a even chance to get a fair crack at the whip. So what you'll still see in South Africa now is that blacks still live in the Bantustans that were created under apartheid, and that blacks still live in high density poverty. They've got high loads of poverty, and if you look at the whites are still in splendour, abject splendour and wealth. So has there been anything really sorted there apart from the black man getting a vote? Is the inequality and the wealth, inequality that's happening over there, has that been sorted by having Nelson Mandela as president, has been having blacks in control? There's still huge amounts of inequality there.
Agreed, 100% agree with you. But if you look at the perception of Nelson Mandela worldwide, it's really, the defining moments of after he got released was, the fact that he did say that he'd forgiven them and, they wanted to work together. So whether in actual fact it's made the difference that we would all want.
No, I know what you're putting out there as an alternative to the narrative that is given, that, yeah, he did turn the other cheek, yeah, and he did, and it's a wonderful, noble thing, what he did, right? But what I'm saying to you, it was also a way of him saving face and coming out and saying, okay, because the blacks could have technically still been in the same situation of apartheid, because if you look at now what's happening in Israel, the Palestinians, the way the Israelis treat them, they're living in a virtual state of apartheid, and it's been over 60 years, and they've got a worse situation than what black South Africans ever had. They're in their own Bantustans, open prisons, and they've been targeted. Never were the black South Africans targeted with F-16 gunships or Apache gunships and targeted the same way. I mean, they were targeted in a terrible way, the blacks, and no way am I, I'm just putting it in context now. But what Nelson Mandela did when he came out was wonderful, but unless he was prepared to allow the white man to still have a huge amount of his wealth and power still in that country, the white man, I mean, he could have come out and stripped him bare and chased him out and done that, but technically the white man wouldn't have allowed that to happen or do that. So when Nelson Mandela was given the keys to come out and do what he had to do, it was given to him by the whites. If you look at America, I mean, that country was backed by America and Israel and Britain, the apartheid state of South Africa. So they only gave that back to the black man, knowing that the black man in South Africa, while he could have a vote of democracy and a bit of a better say in his country, he would still be underprivileged, he would still be suffering a tremendous inequality, but because they've got a vote, because they've got a voice, it somehow makes things better when there's a terrible inequality and the white man still is dominant in that land. So what really happened in the last 20 years, yeah, black man's got a vote in South Africa, and that's all well and good, but what really has been achieved? Has there been justice fully achieved in that land now?
No. There hasn't, no. And, at the end of the day, throughout history, when anything like that happens, there's always, mitigating factors, or, there's always a trade-off, so to speak. So I agree with what you're saying. I agree 100%. Like, they've not got equality. Black people in South Africa are still, as far as I can tell, second-class citizens. But I would say that, look, there has been improvements. I would say that the gap between the white elite and the black populace, although it's still disgusting and huge, I'd say that there's more people with more opportunities to education, to just the basics of life than there was before Mandela got in.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong.
That might be being a little bit naive, but
that's the case.
That's just the way I see it.
No, I hear what you're saying. I agree with you. I mean, it's going to take a long, long time for it to get better. But I'm just counteracting the fact that, well, okay, it was a wonderful thing that he did, and he did turn the other cheek, and he had. I mean, it would have been a bad. It probably would have been a worse situation. The land would have been. I mean, I don't think that the people. I don't think that people who have power and wealth give it away easily. And the people who had power and wealth in South Africa, they gave away the right for black people to vote and black people to have a better say, but they never gave away their land or their wealth to any great degree that allows that land to be a fairer and just place. I mean, the Mercedes makes cars, that country, with flamethrowers on the fucking side of the motor. I mean, that says it all about that land. I mean, the crime and what happens, in that land, is because of a terrible injustice that is still afflicted upon it. See, you look at the main mineral resource of that land, or one of them is diamonds. You look at the name of the Boers, the diamonds, and that's a restricted market. Diamond trade is a restricted market. There's more than enough diamonds for every woman in the planet to be adorned in diamonds, diamond everything, diamond necklaces, jewels, everything. There's so much diamond because they restrict the amount of diamonds that are released every year. They get an inflated market on it, and so it's controlled, and control of that land was done through the Dutch South Africans. Anyway, sorry, I could go on. On you go, John. Sorry, crack on.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, the diamond trade is just an example of, what I would say is most precious materials. There's a reason that they only release so many, so that they keep a high value, of course. And yeah, with no one with wealth and power is going to give it up for nothing. People with wealth and power only want one thing, and that's more wealth and power. I was just taking the analogy that, what Jack was finding the olive branch and all that. Yeah, look, as I said, it's a very noble intention. And if everybody could, hands across the water, the world would be a nicer place. I've no doubts about that. So yeah, look, what was that?
You're saying hands across the water.
Can I hear you, Jack? What's the matter? Where you went to?
Hands across the person.
You're fucking 20 leagues under the sea. It sounds like you're 4 sheets to the wind and 20 leagues under the sea. Speak louder.
No hands across the water.
What are you doing with your phone?
He's on loudspeaker, probably. That's what it is.
Take your loudspeaker off, you dafty.
That's better.
Fucking, what are you on?
That's better.
I don't know. It's a cheap, shiny phone. I'm not. This is an exclusive for it.
Is it a pay and throwaway phone?
Aye. What a fucking.
Right, it's getting fucking thrown away now. He's gone. Right, fuck's sake, he's busting. You there, John?
I'm still here.
Right, you're getting banned as well in a minute. I'm a way to tune into this God frequency, the frequency and sound of the God channel, right? It's cracking up, mate. Phone is back in a bit, right? God bless, mate.
Alright, speak to you later.
Soon. Right, we all need some strength and help here. Let's tune in to see what this is about. God help us. God help us, all I keep said. If I don't like the sounding of it, it's getting ditched. So if it doesn't do what it says on the tin, I'll interject and kick it off. It's 9 minutes past 2. You're wired to the moon with a crackpot. Crackpot radio at its finest. With Jack McCarrott for the Borad. Tommy Gold. Crackpot FM. And that was John in Melbourne. I can cut your head off.com. Yes, I can cut your head off as you pull your head off it. Right, please, whatever you do, don't pull the head off it unless you're Fat Sting Wallet. For just 8.5 hours, 8 hours and 20 minutes to the Sevco AGM. And we've got the God Particle, the Higgs boson of music is on now. The Higgs boson of music. Right. If you've got any drug of choice that you want to participate in now, it's highly advisable. If you've got a bong, an intravenous strip of morphine, anything, it's time to get mainlined up to the max here. Mainlined up to the max with a crackpot. The frequency and sound of God, 520 Hertz megawatts. Crackpot McDougall meantime. Roger McDodger over and out.